We are back trying out Boss Reflector. This is the randomizer preset that gives us the magic mirror in the Holy Glasses location. And we are also requiring all bosses defeated and all Vlad relics acquired in order to open the final fight versus Shaft and Dracula. So far, first of all, fantastic cape color by Dracula here. Fully dripped the hell out. Second of all, I feel like so far this is the preset that feels the most like interesting in trying to create a new experience for the randomizer without it feeling too gambly. Finding that middle ground where, like, you know, some route divergences are allowed to exist, but they don't like get so out of hand that the other player just like wins by guessing correctly on a 50-50. This has been an ongoing saga as we try and identify more fun ways to play through the randomizer, such that we're not stuck with a tournament that lasts 12 months of, you know, the most unfun, uninteresting randomizer presets of all time, which keeps happening somehow. Somehow our community has gone through multiple randomizer tournaments where nobody enjoys the randomizer preset. Anyways, I'm not going to check my items because that's slow. Smiley face. So in randomizer but blindfolded, honestly, you would probably have a similar experience as far as like who ends up winning those. Although Sestrin would have a massive advantage, that's true. How's it going, Barkeep? Welcome, welcome. But yeah, as always, if you're watching on Dragon Blitz Daily, first of all, thank you for watching. I hope you're having a good one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out your boy. It's a free way to support the channel. You can also join the live streams on twitch.tv/DragonBlitz. If you got Amazon Prime, come over, drop a Prime sub. It's free, and it helps me. Gives me free money, essentially, from Jeff Bezos' pocket. SotN tournament, but the floor is lava. Now we're talking. We need to actually make a SotN tournament, but it's all of the fucked up, silly, like, Lewis script mods that Weecock has cooked up. Things like the weapon durability. Things like, all that stuff. Steal money, let's go. How's it going, Queen Bee? How you doing? Fall damage? Dude, a fall damage tournament would go crazy. Out. Already we have an interesting, somewhat of an interesting decision. I think generally it's agreed upon that if you find Soul of Bat at castle entrance, you don't want to go back to the Power of Wolf location and do that check, because you can just do it later with more mana and it'll be faster, because it's right next to a warp anyways, so. You two can help jizz up the streamer. Well, if you get the right RNG. Every sub notification is random, so you do gamble every time you sub, if you think about it that way. Since you guys love gambling so much. Let me give myself the Sword of Alucard. Dude, I thought I double killed them for a second, but guess not. Oh, I don't have Dragon Helm, so I don't think you can double kill them that way without Dragon Helm. Boners rise up. Blood magic mode where MP costs HP. That actually would be an interesting challenge mode randomizer type thing. I don't think people would like it because generally, how do I put a boner in the chat? It is a subscriber emote, so you will need to be subscribed to the chat, unfortunately. Otherwise, you have to scrape the bottom of the barrel of ASCII art, which, you know, if you know how to do ASCII art, then, like, jeweled Knuckles %. Is that just Knuckles, but he's fully blinged out? I'm down. Jewel Knuckles is one of the better weapons in the game. Frick that guy. Oh yeah, we can't do that. Oh yeah, that actually makes things interesting. I keep forgetting that that option is blocked off in this preset. It's my favorite, and it's cheating. It's not cheating. Oh god, what's the name of the Japanese runner? I always forget his name. Jewel of Open here is pretty interesting. But he does Jewel Knuckle in his glitchless runs. Yeah, I'm forgetting his name. It is an interesting route. He essentially doesn't like the idea of using Shield Rod, and his glitchless runs were like Jewel Knuckle plus something else, I want to say. I think he maybe farmed Crystagram at some point. God, I'm really forgetting. This is like some old school SotN speedrun lore. But yeah, it's not like optimal or anything like that. Like the route is definitely slower, but it is good. It's like an option. I shouldn't be doing this actually. This is a mistake, but I'm just gonna commit to it. Kanyaka, yes. Kanyaka, I think is how you say that, or however you say it. He was the one that has done a lot of that kind of shit. I think eventually he ended up starting, he did do runs with Shield Rod, but for a while he had like the third best glitchless time, I want to say, without using Shield Rod, which was really epic. It was like me, Rom Scout, and then him. Should I go this way? Grab the warp now. So the thing is I just need to get Mist as fast as possible, and most likely Mist is locked behind Jewel of Open because of the way the progression works, and we can get Gold Ring early. So yeah, I should be optimizing my way towards Caverns, I think. Yeah, the Wing Smash Trail is very cool. Is that like a new update? Or is that just like happenstance that it looks that cool? Because I feel like it's like somewhat flashing. You can get a random Masamune drop in glitchless. You can. It doesn't end up being... I don't think it's faster, though. Especially because we do left side in glitchless, because we have to kill creature. So you wouldn't have the Masamune in your hands until you're fighting... At best, you've already fought all of the bosses except for Akmadon and Medusa. You're going full weave and moving to Japan? Hell yeah. Congratulations. That sounds like a lot of fun, I'm not gonna lie. One of the palette IDs and we revamped it. You think you're funny? You think you're cute? Saying you revamped it? Get him out of here. Mods? You can go to Sumo in person? Hell yeah. If I'm ever in Japan, I'll make sure to visit. I do want to go at some point in my life. Okay. Ooh, Ring of Fëanor's great. I would like to have a shield, unironically, but that's fine. Why do we start with Axelord? Oh, it's for the out of bounds stuff, right? I always forgot. We can go to Sumo. Let's go. Not bad. Now we have Gold Ring. We need Mist. Silver ring. Which makes me think, actually. What if it's better to do mermaid statue first? With a save split? In this preset. The idea being that you want to save Scylla for later anyways, so if Scylla is not the thing you need, it's better to hold it off for later. Because you can combine Scylla and Doppelganger. And I need to do castle entrance anyways, so. Kind of a way for me to get a lot of checks done quickly here. I don't know, does this make sense to anybody else? Or am I smoking that shit that makes you sound like you're smoking that shit that makes you sound stupid? I need to keep that, unfortunately. Always smoking that shit, yeah. When in doubt, smoke that shit. Smoking that green blossom. Smoking that shit that regens stamina. What? This actually does kind of suck. Because I am just low on MP in general. Probably should have grabbed that MP max up then on the way over here. But whatever. Oh. That sucks. Yeah, this whole save split idea ended up not being that great for me, I want to say. Ugh. Stop, I'm getting fucking bullied. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not very... Yeah, this play ended up not feeling very good. And now I have to fly back up the waterfall? Yeah, I think this whole idea was kind of stupid. Because now I have to go back to fight Scylla. Because Scylla can still be missed. Yeah, that was dumb. I should have just saved this for later. Because, like, how much time would I have saved by having Scylla and Doppelganger be the same fight, essentially? Couldn't have been that much. And even then, you still have to do, like, the weird deload thing for Doppelganger. I don't need this, but I'm going to grab it. Yeah, this whole situation was kind of an L. But I did want to try something different. I also should have stopped and grabbed the shield in the first place. Just to speed up my movement. Like, I'm fucking thinky. Yeah, not only did I make a routing mistake, I also was being dumb about it. But that's fine. Lesson learned for next time. Because that whole detour was like, what, 4 minutes or something like that? Like, that's a really long detour to not be progressing in a preset that so heavily relies on finding the magic mirror as early as possible. Echo. Oh. Okay. What does that tell me about the... I mean, Echo has to be in logic, I think, because Spike Breaker is still in logic for this preset. Going down to Catacombs would have been a better play. Well, in hindsight, it would have been a better play. But also no, because I still needed the Vlad Relic. Unless you're saying, like, to save split away the Catacombs? No. Like, we needed to check Scylla there because Scylla is a progression relic. We were correct that Scylla was a progression relic. It's just that it was Echo. Which we don't need, but the logic thinks that we need. Yeah. I guess that, honestly, that is kind of fucked now that I think about it, because now... I wonder if there's a way for this not to feel too ass. Oh, no. Oh, that's really bad. I'm just not realizing that Mist can just be anywhere. Because Echo was the progression relic. Oh, that's so bad. Yeah. So the seed is telling me that Mist is quote-unquote useless because Mist doesn't get me Silver Ring on its own, as far as logic is concerned. So it put Echo as the progression relic because it thinks that you need Echo to get Spikebreaker and that you need Spikebreaker to get Silver Ring, which obviously I don't need if I do it out of logic, so... Enjoy lurking. Thanks for gracing me with your presence. Oh, this isn't even a thing I can do yet. I forgot. Oh, this whole thing is fucking ass. This can be literally anywhere. Is the problem. Wow. Yeah, I got completely owned by misreading what the logic could be. Mist is right behind me? No, it's not. You lied. I believed you, too. Fuck. Damn, that's brutal, actually. Damn. Yeah, not only did I make a somewhat early mistake... Like, the only way this route ends up not completely killing me is if I'm in a race with somebody and they skip the Tooth of Vlad. Honestly, that's, like, basically my win con now, which is, like, so annoying. I am still holding off on going to the library. Because, like, it's just inefficient to go now, unfortunately. Yeah, WinCon is them doing the same thing. Yeah, this is a rough seed. Like, having your WinCon be out of logic feels really rough. Theoretically, Mist is... It's not Mist that's in logic, it's Spikebreaker that's in logic, but Spikebreaker's not the thing that you actually need. So, the way that you solve that, funny enough, is... not have Spikebreaker be the thing that unlocks Silver Ring in logic. Especially for allowing Spikebreaker skips anyways. Like, if Spikebreaker doesn't actually force you to be required... If Spikebreaker isn't forced to be required for Silver Ring, it might just need to be not in logic. Does that make sense? Damn. Welcome, Real Reliable. What's the most annoying SotN enemy to deal with? I actually made an entire annoying enemy tier list that's on the YouTube. I think if you just look up Dragon Blitz enemy tier list, it should pop up. I honestly forget what I put at the top of that tier list, though. No, you don't need a potion to skip Spikebreaker. You can just do it with a summon spirit. Like, you can do it with no invincibility frames. Just make your own. Ah! Forgot there's a wall there. I'm getting cooked. Dude, oh my god. We're about to have all the Vlad relics before we have fucking Mist. What is this shit? Dude, this seed is fucking gross. Oh my god. It's like gross in like a really weird but interesting way. Because it's like, how am I supposed to route this shit? I just hope I find Mist here, I guess. If Mist is in the fucking library, by the way, like, that fucking sucks for me. That's so bad. Yeah, I do think Spike Breaker for Silver Ring might need to be removed from Logic, and that would solve this issue. It would mean that Mist is, like, later in the Logic, or, like, later in the complexity for these presets, but the complexity should be more linear early on, which is fine. Like, if it's linear Logic early game into an open second castle plus boss routing, I think that's ideal. Like, if your early game is you just trying to route the complexity steps early as efficiently as possible, and then the entire castle opens up with the magic mirror, I think that's ideal. But I don't know. Oh well. But that's why we test these things. Yeah, because this seed is now find Mist equals win, which is like the whole thing I was trying to avoid with this type of randomizer. Why does everyone hate Spellbound so much? Because they're playing it. Because they have to experience it. It's just a poorly thought out randomizer preset, unfortunately. Oh, we can't even get this, dude. This whole thing is ass. It was in the fucking library. Or it's, Spirit Orb, I guess. Damn. I got fucking owned this seed. Like, just literally every single guess as far as these, like, Mist could have been in any of these locations, statistically. Like, none of these locations are more likely to be missed than any other, which is so annoying. Like, that's the whole thing I'm trying to remove from these types of presets. This preset's smoking that shit that makes me stupid. Yup. Very true. Damn. Yeah, in general, the lack of having spells is very frustrating in Symphony of the Night, because spells are one of the ways that you normalize the fact that Symphony of the Night is a game that is, like, not really meant to be played, like, very combat focused or anything like that. Like, spells are the thing that supports you in combat more than anything else. Having access to Soul Steal when you're about to die is really important. Having access to Wing Smash for movement when you have Soul of Bat, really important for speedrun purposes. And taking away all these options and making them come up very rarely is just not good. Not very good. Like, to me, I view Spellbound as like a challenge preset, which is not something that you want to force onto other people for, like, tournament money. Like, in my mind, people want to join a tournament for the idea of, like, going fast. It was not. It was the library. Wow. That's so annoying. Yeah, essentially, like, when you give people access to, like, the fun and interesting aspects of SotN, which is the movement at the end of the day. Like, SotN is a video game that is about movement. And when you take away some of the more interesting aspects of movement and then emphasize, like, the less interesting stuff of SotN, like fist combat, for example, it can be skillful, but it doesn't mean that it's a skill set that people appreciate being tested, right? Whereas I had a lot of fun using Spellbound. Like, I'm Spellbound's #1 defender because I played more Spellbound than a lot of other people because it was baked into the Impossible Challenge. And I fucking did hundreds of attempts of that shit.
Tribute.
Yo, up the bad gamer, you and me together, being bad at video games. Hand clasp emote. When I first started playing the game in a speedrun competitive style, I wouldn't use spells until I got used to the movement combat. Then I started to use spells to work on speed aspect. Yes, I guess. But that's like a different... Yeah, if you're like still practicing and still learning, that's like different than hosting a... Like, the skill set of learning the game is different than the skill set of people who have been playing the game and are attempting to test their skills in a tournament setting. But yeah. Damn, can't afford the Varda. Can't afford anything! I'm broke! Fucking thing sucks! Mana Prisms.
Farewell for now.
Sure, whatever. I don't know. So insanely annoying. I'm not checking Soul of Bat. There's no reason to. Because I have to come back here later. I could have had this, like, I don't know, 10 minutes into the seed. We could have had the magic mirror. If we just didn't follow the logical progression. Oh, man. That's tough. That's tough. Did I open the shortcut? I didn't Coliseum at least? Okay, thank God. Thank God I didn't completely throw. If I didn't open that Coliseum shortcut, I would have just fucking rage quit. Because this seed is pissing me off. But yeah. Also, I want to state that, like, I don't think it's wrong to want to host a tournament using, like, a preset that you think is interesting or whatever. In fact, that's, like, every tournament I've ever done essentially follows that ethos of, like, I think this could be fun, so let's try it out type thing. But it's usually presets that have at least been, like, tested by the community, or at least like, every time I had the option to present a tournament with multiple preset options or whatever, I asked the community, like, hey, these are the things that I'm thinking about hosting. How do you guys feel about it? That type of thing. But as soon as you kind of are like, well, I don't really care what you think. I'm just going to do the thing that I think is more interesting. That ends up breeding resentment. So. In my opinion. Well, Magic Mirror is in complexity. It's just that the complexity is being calculated with the assumption that Spike Breaker is required, which is what caused this problem. Because Mist was not a progression relic in this. The complexity Vlad? You're saying have it be the final step in complexity? Instead of being vanilla? Location? In a way, it probably should be in Magic Mirror. Because it's like, once you have it, you basically can finish the game, but yeah. Forcing all complexity in the first castle sucks sometimes. No. I mean, yes, but no. It just means that, like, honestly, that does mean that you end up with more Jewel of Open early seeds, essentially, but yeah. Because it cuts out 2 complexity items / relics, it means that Echo does nothing and Spikebreaker does nothing. So I think if we did do that and not adjusted the complexity count, it would mean that every single seed would be a Jewel of Open early seed, I think. Why not remove Vlad's altogether? Well, the idea behind Vlad's is that it forces you to still do relic checks. Because if it was just bosses, it would be too fast. And it means that you would be able to, like, skip some stuff. You'd be able to skip stuff while your opponent is still, like, looking for the mirror, in a way. It kind of evens out the fact that, like, for example, it makes gambling even stronger in some spots. Because it's like, well, if this is not exactly the thing that gets me to Magic Mirror, it is useless. Right? So you end up skipping a lot of stuff, hoping to just bink the exact thing you need to find the mirror, and then you win the game. Type shit. Now we want to go probably caverns first. This is the routing that, like, is very difficult for me to do. I don't know. I mean, we basically just want to focus on bosses and do, like, an efficient boss route. That's the thing that matters more than anything, I think, because we'll find the last Vlad relic along the way. No, I mean that as another option for goals. Wait, what? Make the requirement 3 Vlads? Like 3 out of 5? I don't see why that would be a problem, but my brain isn't functioning at 100% capacity right now, so I'd have to think about it. Oops. Eat. This stupid fucking spell. I think this works, right? Nope. We do have to do these checks until we find the Vlad relic. How did the Spellbound tournament go? What do you mean, how did it go? That shit's still happening, is it not? I think I want to warp now. Thought it was over. It never ends. Another 10,000 years of Spellbound. Infinity Spellbound forever. Look, on the bright side, even if I can't conjure the perfect randomizer competitive preset or whatever, at least it'll be better than Spellbound. I think I want to warp to wherever. What's the next warp location? Is going to be the mines. Backtrack into the caverns, do that shit. And then maybe from there. I don't know. Actually, I probably do this first. Because I need to, like, loop around this way anyways. So now we do Grand Falloon, stupid butt. Big Toss would have been fun. I think Big Toss in concept is funny. But an entire tournament of Big Toss, I think, would get... At least it's different, right? It'd be like an entire tournament of, like, leg day, where it's like, at least it's different. But I don't think it would support the... In general, only one preset for the entirety of a tournament can become somewhat grating. IMO. I mean, the whole money aspect of the tournament stuff is also, you know, its own can of worms that I've discussed before, but don't feel like talking about right now. I must be the lone weird person because I actually like the Spellbound preset. Are you in the tournament? Because, like, you're not wrong for liking Spellbound. I like Spellbound. But there's a difference between liking a preset and then being forced to play it to compete in a tournament. Those are, like, different things. Like, do you like pizza? All right. Well, now you're forced to eat pizza every day for 4 months, or else you lose out on $5,000. All of a sudden, eating pizza every day doesn't feel so good now, does it? I guess I should check this before I fight fucking doo-doo ass, right? Is that technically optimal? I don't know. Yeah, let's spawn him in this way, I think. There we go. Do you get to pick the toppings? Nope, the toppings are randomized and they're always bad. Oh, there's no relic that drops from this guy. Whatever. You have to find the relics first. Yeah. Long story short, there's nothing wrong with liking Spellbound. I've already talked about it before. I think Spellbound is a good preset for having fun with the game and having, like, a challenge or whatever. But it's not a good tournament preset. And the thing is like, shocker, this had already been discussed and talked about beforehand. When the tournament was announced, it was like, yeah, this is a bad idea for a tournament preset. And guess what happened? Was any of the discussion from the community taken into consideration? Nope. Is that surprising at all? Nope. A single dominating tournament is never going to feel good. I disagree. This way now. You can have a tournament that feels good. It just needs to be ran properly and ideally doesn't take 5 months. And gives agency to the players in a way that, keyword dominating. I guess I read that as, like, dominating time, right? But I guess dominating could also have other implications as well, right? It was only like 2 months long. Yeah. Yeah, also, I don't think anybody was frustrated with the Lycanthrope tournament at all. The most frustrating aspect of the Lycanthrope tournament, if I remember correctly, was the agreeing upon certain, like, quality of life things for the tournament. But I might be misremembering when that stuff came up. It took too long. I might be misremembering, but... like, I was in the tournament, so I would have been playing longer than anybody, because I ended up winning, but maybe I'm just misremembering. People were getting burnt out from it. How long did it take? I don't remember, genuinely. Also, it taking a long time, I guess, isn't that surprising. I don't know. That's also just the issue with, like, online tournaments in general, is, like, they are likely to just take a long time, just due to the nature of getting everybody together in the same place to agree upon, like, times and schedules and things can be very hit or miss, but... like, the most frustrating thing about the Lycanthrope tournament was the, Relic gambling from my perspective, but that was already a big thing from the previous tournament. The Safe Logic tournament that happened before, I think. No one wanted to touch it after a few months. I think that's, like, going to happen regardless, though. Because people just want to do new things, right? If they're spending that much time playing a preset, even if it's a good preset, they want to move on to the next thing. But I don't see that as necessarily a downside. I do think having a multi-category, multi-preset tournament helps with that as well, because it helps keep things fresh. Right? You're not being forced into playing some boring shit that you don't like. Do I need to do trio? I need to do... I guess I'll save trio for last, actually, because it's right next to the end of the game. So instead, I want to go to Outer Wall and then warp to Castle Keep, I think? I think that's the route I want to take. I also have to do Lesser Demon before I forget. Come on, Wing Smash, please. That'll never happen. Crazy. You can't force people to be worse at the game. That's genuinely unforceable, and also, in my opinion, unfun. For better or for worse, getting better at Symphony of the Night does have the downside of we are now better at the game. Speedrunning is a slow descent into killing the game that you love at the end of the day. It's enjoying it to a point where the game is still fun, but then at the end of it, it becomes unfun as you slide the knife in one final time, as the game is now unrecognizable from what it once was for you. But that's all speedrunning of all games. Did I beat X3 yet? No. X3 is on the back burner because I've been very busy with, like, video editing stuff for the main channel. X3 we will probably start tomorrow. So. I like Bounty Hunter. That's the thing. Bounty Hunter, fun preset, as long as you aren't, like, being forced to gamble your life savings on it. Anyways, oh, we still have to wait for the gamble to finish, speaking of gambling. Again, Symphony of the Night is allowed to be fun, just for the sake of fun. But as soon as you're hosting a tournament with the idea of finding the most skilled player, or, like, identifying the most skilled player, you want to normalize the possibility of, like, all the bullshit. You know what I mean? Such that skill is the determining factor. Otherwise, you're essentially creating a slot machine with extra steps, and I've already talked about that many a times before. And you can like the slot machine. You can think the slot machine is cool. Or like, oh, this version of the slot machine sure is interesting. Is it just Scylla now? And Medusa and Akhenaten. Okay. So we can skip all the other checks. You could also argue that, like, you have a different perspective on things. Like, oh, actually, I don't think, you know, it's bad to have the determination of the winner be, like, more luck than skill or whatever. And that's just a different opinion. Sure, you're allowed to have that opinion. Even if I think it's stupid, you're allowed to have that opinion. Yeah, everyone's allowed to be wrong, exactly. I don't know. You meant bingo? Yeah, bingo is very different than bounty hunter. Very different. Yeah, bingo, I think, is closer to the ideal of what I would want out of a... Oh, yeah, you heal from stone. Yeah, RNG is fine as long as GDP per capita is not on the line. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I've already rammed my freaking thoughts into the wall over and over again, but yeah, bingo is sick. I would like to, at some point, find a way to automate the bingo process a little bit better. Because it's possible. A tournament based on RNG is fucking stupid regardless of winnings. I disagree. You're allowed to have a tournament based off of RNG. Like, poker tournaments exist for a reason. And they are ultimately very skillful. It's just you need to balance out the skill and luck aspects of the randomizer. I keep forgetting that I have this, actually. No. Don't do it. Grab me. You sexy, sexy mummy. But the same reason why a poker tournament is cool and interesting and fun is the exact opposite as to why, like, a blackjack tournament would be cool, interesting, or fun. Where it's like, yes, technically there is a skill to playing blackjack. Do you know, how the fucking cards work? Yes, no. Very different. Yo, what up, Doc? Gamers do be rising up, and that, at the end of the day, that's what really matters. Also, one thing, I complained early on that I, like, completely shit the bed this seed, and I forgot about Darkwing Bat. Thankfully, he's next to a warp. But we're still finishing this shit in, like, 55 minutes. So can't be that mad. Oops. No. Dude. Can you stop it, Ralph? All my homies hate Ralph Belmont. How does he have infinite health, by the way? There's no reason to grab that. I was kind of actually hoping for a health max up, but that's fine. The other thing is I need to be using my mana prisms better. And I'll karma coin flip, actually, here in the CD room. And then we'll start another gamble for the last bit here. Tails! Did you guess correctly? No? Well, don't worry. We have another coin flip for you to procure your channel points through. Also, I had Masamune. I should have used that for that boss fight. It's literally always tails. Yep. Nobody tell him that it was heads last time, but yep. Duplicate relics are spawned throughout the castle to replace bad relics. Acquiring the second of any pair of relics will enhance the abilities granted by that relic normally by granting you more damage or by reducing MP cost. Okay. I think in theory that's a good idea because that I think also speaks to the idea that I was talking about earlier with the Super Metroid situation. The Super Metroid situation is crazy, by the way. Picture of fucking Moist Critical sitting in his chair. Where in Super Metroid, you get like the first set of missiles is the missiles that you need to open missile doors or whatever, but every subsequent set of missiles is now just ammo that you can use to kill bosses faster. You know what I mean? Same with like supers, same with power bombs. The first one is the one that you need for logic, but all the subsequent ones can help speed up the game in other ways if you utilize them properly, right? So they're not wasted. Which I think is cool. Like that aspect of the Super Metroid randomizer I think helps equalize some of the bullshit. It also makes useless relics stronger. Well, it also means that like, oh shit, I missed out on finding Soul of Bat in the first castle. But there's a route for me to do early second castle. Maybe I can find like Force of Echo, which ends up giving me Soul of Bat anyways. And maybe I have to wing smash, you know, like my MP isn't as efficient with the wing smashes or whatever, but it's still good. Five Buffalo Stars to open up every red door. The thing is you would need enemies to be able to drop Buffalo Star refills. I want to investigate this further. I think this idea can work, and people suggested something similar before as well, but collect enough Soul of Bats, you get Bat Master movement. Stuff like that, yeah. I have no clue what you're talking about with walk armor being broken. That's something I'm unaware of, if that's like a real thing or not. I'm not sure. Yeah, if I had found Mist earlier, this seed would have been finished in like 42 minutes or something like that. I straight up would have saved like 10 minutes, most likely. So, you know, that's cool. You're thinking of heal armor, Major Seaman. Walk armor is the one that increases your defense based off of how much map you have. Healing mail is the one that heals you as you walk. So, all right, get your submissions in now. I'm ending the coin flip early. You guys have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is. Drum roll, please. Tails. It's always tails, guys. Always tails. Everybody knows that. GG's. Yeah, 55 minutes.
Go back whence you came.
Not bad.
Trouble the soul of my mother no more.
Not bad.
How? How is it that I've
Yep.
been so defeated?
We're still working on
You have been
making
doomed
presets that I
ever
think
since you lost the ability
fix some of the
to
core issues that I have. And I ultimately, I do think a lot of people also share my opinion
For what
in this regard of like specifically competitive stuff, right? At the end of the day, if you want to make a preset where every time you press the L2 button and the and bat at the same time, it transforms Alucard into, you know, giant titty succubus with insta kill attacks, that's fine. I don't care. If you want to just play through the game casually that way, great.
cannot live with them, then at least do
But as soon as we start to be like, hey, we as a community are all going to get around this tournament that's going to be happening for the next couple of months. We're mostly going to be playing this preset. You want to, at the very least, if you're going to put that much strain on the community's attention and whatnot, you want it to at least be a good preset that rewards skill, such that the players who are invested in playing the randomizer and getting good at the randomizer get rewarded. Or else you end up in a situation where it's like nobody really cares about the randomizer or how good you are at it. They just, you know, they'll lose interest because there's no reason to continue to play and get better at it. And ultimately, I want a community that rewards players who are invested and care. Call me a fucking socialist, Marxist, fucking woke moralist or whatever for not, why do speedrunners always want to go fast and not do it the right way? They prioritize the archetypical male in the marketplace of ideas. Fastest hedgehog. You're a beta male Sonic. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the live stream, twitch.tv/DragonBlitz. Drop a Prime sub if you got it. And I'll see you in the next one, YouTube. Have a good one. Bye-bye.